Yes, students, so let us start with the discussion. The first question is, what does the author notice one Sunday afternoon? What is his mother's reaction? What does she do? Raise your hand, those who want to answer the question. Okay, let me take first answer from here, those who are present here. Hanji beta, answer the question.
One Sunday afternoon, when author was doing her homework, she um, she uh, she smelled something strange, and then she noticed that smoke was pouring through the seams of the ceiling. When she came out from the house, she saw that her house roof was burning with fire.
Hmm.
Uh, her mother was very worried. She ran into the house and bring back some important documents.
Hmm.
And second time she brought important things of her deceased father,
Hmm.
who was died
Of her and deceased father, आप यहाँ पर pronounce, you have mixed it. ठीक है ना? If you are using for the mother, then it is her deceased husband, right? ठीक है, sit down. Yes, Priyanka, unmute and tell the answer.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, beta.
Ma'am, the author saw smoking ceiling in through the ceiling.
Hmm. Yes, and hurry up.
He and his mother ran into the front yard.
Your voice is not audible, Priyanka. Drik Bajaj, you answer the question.
His mother carried
Priyanka, you stop, beta. Your voice is
small
not audible. Drik, unmute and tell the answer.
box which contained important then she ran then she ran
Priyanka,
into
मेरी
the
आवाज आ रही है आपको
house
बेटा?
to bring
Your
her
voice is
father.
not audible.
Her husband.
Drik Bajaj, unmute.
Ma'am, one Sunday afternoon when the narrator was doing her homework, she suddenly smelled something strange and noticed that smoke was filling in the room, which was coming through the gaps in the ceiling. The smoke in no time filled the entire room that she and her mother could barely see, and she so they were worried and ran out of the house ran out into the front yard, and then she saw that her house was on caught the fire, and
Hmm.
it was spreading quickly, and
Okay, wait,
her
wait,
mother
Drik
was
Bajaj. आप बहुत ज़्यादा elaborate करते हो things को. I always tell you that you should write the answers briefly. Now listen carefully. So one Sunday afternoon, the author was doing her homework in the dining room, and she saw smoke pouring into her room through the ceiling. ठीक है? And then they all rushed out of the house. They saw that the roof was engulfed in flames. Then suddenly Zan saw her mother running into the house again, and she came out with a metal box containing documents, and she just threw the box onto the floor and ran again. So she went again to get her father's photograph and other letters, which were only left as memory with them. So she tried to save as many as things possible. ठीक है, करेक्ट है, आप सबको समझ आ गया जी. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, why does he break down in tears after the fire? Yes, बेटा महक.
5 hours later, when fire was finally out, the author realized that the completely burned down, and he was not able to find his cat anywhere. So the recent changes in his life of going into the new school, the fire and the cat broke him down in tears.
Yes, ठीक है. So the narrator, the author felt that everything was going the wrong way. First of all, she was facing problem in adjusting with the new school environment. Then she did not have anything left after the fire. Everything was burnt in the fire, and so you can name that all the possessions. Okay, the house was totally burnt into ashes. The clothes were lost, the books, her backpack, even her cat was not there. So at that moment, she felt that she had nothing left in her life, and that's why she broke in tears after the fire. ठीक है, समझ आ गया वो फूट फूट कर क्यों रोने लगी, क्यों वो उसके आंखों में आंसू आ गए? बिकॉज शी फेल्ट दैट नथिंग वाज लेफ्ट इन हर हाउस, इन हर लाइफ, एवरीथिंग वाज लॉस्ट. ठीक है. Next, why is the author deeply embarrassed the next day in school? Which words show his fear and insecurity? Yes, Archana, unmute and tell the answer.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, the author was deeply embarrassed the next day in school because she had no uniform, no shoes, and her books were also burnt in fire. She didn't had her backpack also, so that and she didn't have all the school supplies needed. She
Hmm.
walked around the school like a zombie, and it all felt to her like it was surreal. And the words that show her fear and insecurity are outcast and grief.
Geek. Geek nahi hai, it's geek. G se
Geek.
pronunciation. ठीक है. You can also quote the lines when she says, I was totally embarrassed. आप देखिए, जहाँ वो कहती है, my backpack was gone. ठीक है. Was I destined to be an outcast or a geek? That's what it felt like. I didn't want to grow up. All these words, you can quote few of the lines to show her embarrassment. So the answer is that the author was embarrassed because she did not have anything left. Her shoes were not there, uniform, the school uniform, her backpack was not there. So when she went into the school next day, she was wearing the same dress that she had worn for the church that Sunday. Okay? So she felt embarrassed. She also felt like she was like a zombie. Her life was dull and uninteresting. And the words that show is you can use the outcast, geek, and you can quote some lines from the chapter. Inverted commas में वो lines को show करोगे. You can quote from that paragraph. I was totally embarrassed by everything. The clothes I was wearing, take it, then the books, my backpack was lost. Uh, I tried to fit in the verse it got. These are some of the lines that show her embarrassment. So you can quote these lines. Yes, Lavanya? वो बहुत ज़्यादा पीछे चले जाता है. It is right after the fire that the next day in school, you have to take the lines from that paragraph only. So it's page number 51. The next day, Monday, I went to school, and at the end of the paragraph, there are few lines. You can quote any 2, 3 lines from that using the word outcast and geek also. That shows her embarrassment. Okay? So quote any of the two, 3 lines from there, which will justify your answer. And whenever you are quoting, you must quote the exact words used in the uh, story and put it under inverted commas. And if you are quoting some words, but you are using your own words, then you will not show it under double inverted commas. Just you can show in single inverted, and you can write in your own words also as well. If you don't remember the what exactly the words were said by the author. Okay? But try to remember those sentences because those are the important part. When you are asked to quote, it should be quoted exactly as said by the person, right? Okay. Now the next question is, the cat and the author are very fond of each other. How has this been shown in the story? Where was the cat after the fire? Who brings it back and how? Now there are 3 parts. Let us discuss the first one, that how has this been shown in the story? That the cat and the author are very fond of each other. Is side say from red section? Nobody wants to try. चलिए लावण्या आप दीजिए आंसर. It also purred.
curled up in her arms, and the overwhelming feelings were shown at that moment.
Okay, you are missing out very important part. Yes, Mehak, sit down.
In the beginning of the story, it was stated that his red tabby cat was lying. Her red tabby cat was lying on top of her papers and purring loudly and occasionally sweating at his pen for entertainment sake, as
Hmm.
well as
Hmm.
in the early morning when he
Hmm.
they used to wake up. The cat would tag along after her and climb up in her rock and crawl into her pocket to fall asleep.
Yes, these points are also to be included. Okay, let me take answer from online students. Sumit, you raised hand. Sumit, try and answer the question. What is your answer to this question? That how the cat and the author, they were very fond of each other. Yes, Sumit, आपने hand raise किया था.
Cat
Unmute.
and the
हाँ जी.
author are very fond of each other. Author rescued cat when she was kitten,
Hmm.
and somewhere cat also knew that author was responsible for giving her a good life.
Hmm.
So cat uh, always stay close to author
Hmm. Correct.
to
Okay,
the
ठीक है.
author.
One more point is there. Okay, let me take the rest of the answer for Parneet Kaur. Yes, Parneet, answer the question. What else?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
The cat and the author were very fond of each other because he remembered how the cat could crawl into his pocket and fall asleep and missed her terribly.
Okay, so now let us combine all the answers. First value point, that they were very fond of each other. Fond or found, these are two different words. FOND, fond मतलब एक दूसरे को पसंद करते थे, ठीक है ना? और found, FOUND, that is different word. So fond pronunciation hai. So they were attached to each other. They would spend most of the time together. Then you will give the example that every morning how Zan would wake up, disturb the cat, and the cat would follow her. Then the cat would climb her robe and just get into her pocket and would sleep there. So while Zan studied, the cat would sit there. They would spend time together. She would also attack her pen, hit her pen with her paws just for the sake of entertainment. And when we see that when the cat was lost, Zan, she cried a lot. She felt as if uh, everything was lost in her life. And when she got back her cat, she hugged her dearly. And we find also that the cat was also happy to find her owner back. ब्रीफली लिखना है सो गो फॉर ब्रीफ पॉइंट्स जो इंपॉर्टेंट है बस उन्हीं पॉइंट्स को मेंशन करोगे और ये सारे इंसिडेंट्स शो करते हैं दैट हाउ cat and the author they were fond of each other. You can also quote the word that cat also purred happily at the end when she was with her owner, that is Zan. Is it clear? जी. अब इसी क्वेश्चन का अगला पार्ट है, where was the cat after the fire and who brings it back and how? हाँ जी बेटा, दीजिए आंसर.
When the author also was caught in the fire, cat has ran a mile away. A lady bring it back to the author.
ओके, ठीक है. इस आंसर को और कोई बताना चाहेगा? हाँ जी, लास्ट बेंच.
When author's house has caught fire,
हम्म.
his cat had been so pleased by the fire that she ran over a mile.
हम्म.
A lady, uh, a lady took a lady took the cat back to author by the mobile number written on cat's collar.
ओके, ठीक है. सो थोड़ा सा इसको एक्सप्लेन करोगे जो सेकंड पार्ट है आंसर का, दैट ये आंसर क्लियर है that as the house was on fire, the cat got freaked out and ran over a mile away from the house. So cat was wandering in the streets. Then a lady took the cat in her house and she took care of that cat. And there was phone number written on the collar of the cat, but as the phone lines were disconnected and destroyed in the fire, she could not contact. and she made all possible efforts to find the real owner of the cat, and finally she brought back the cat to Zan. Clear? So ये जो second part है उसको थोड़ा explain करना है कि phone lines disconnected थी, वो काफी मेहनत करती है ढूंढने में, and finally she came to know about the real owner, and then she brought the cat back to Zan. Are we clear with this part? ठीक है. सो ध्यान रखो क्या क्या पॉइंट्स आने हैं एक आंसर में, उसको लिखने जरूरी है. इफ यू मिस आउट देन यू लूज मार्क्स ऑल्सो देयर. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. What actions of the schoolmates changed the author's understanding of life and people and comfort him emotionally? How does his loneliness vanish? How does he start participating in life? Again, there are two parts in the question. We will discuss the first one. What actions of the schoolmates changed the author's understanding of life? Yes, who would answer the question? Let me take it from online. Beta, those who are online, those who want to answer, raise your hand. Very few students are raising hand. Yes, Drig to fir elaborate karega. Archana, you try and give the answer. Yes.
Ma'am, when the author's house was on fire and everything was burned, she had nothing left. She had nothing left to go to school. All her school supplies, uniforms, shoes, backpacks were burnt in the fire. And in the new school, at first she was very embarrassed and didn't have friends. But after this accident, when she went to school, the schoolmates and teachers, they collected money and bought her school supplies and bought her all the school supplies that she needed. They bought for her many clothes like jeans, tops, and sweatsuits, and she loved them. And then she felt that, and it comforted her emotionally. Then she felt that there were some people whom she was not considering to be friends, but when it was her bad times, they helped her and comforted her.
Okay, so Archana has given the complete answer. So let me just repeat it for you all, that when everything was lost in fire, okay, and Zan, she had to go back to school, she felt really embarrassed. She felt also guilty at some point, as if she was responsible for everything. But she found that the classmates, they were very sympathetic and they understood her situation. Because when she went the next day, she saw that in the gym room, in the gym class, there was a table at the center, and they had arranged all the school supplies and clothes for her, which included notebooks, stationery items, jeans, tops, sweatsuits, etc. Not only this, they all invited Zan to their homes. And now Zan, she was not alone. She was overwhelmed by seeing their concern, the way they had expressed their friendship to her. And thus, she came out of all kinds of negativity because she had now friends in the school, and she also realized that she has got a new life. अब वो अकेली नहीं थी. She was not depressed. She was not sad because she was surrounded by her friends. Are we clear? ये complete answer है. So how does her loneliness vanish and how does he start participating? ये भी इसी में आ जाता है. So she started spending life with her friends. She was not alone anymore in her life. Any doubts in this answer? किसी को कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना है? ये आंसर क्लियर है आप सबके लिए? ठीक है, चलिए. Last question. What is the meaning of "my cat was back and so was I"? Had the author gone anywhere, why does he say that he is also back? Let me take answer first from the students who are online. Yes, beta, raise your hand. Vanshdeep, unmute and give the answer. Vanshdeep. Manu. Manu. No one. Manraj. Very bad. Malvika, you try and give the answer. Malvika.
Yes, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, this statement, my cat was back and so was I, refers to that when the lady
Yes.
gave the author's cat back to her, that moment she got a new hope for life,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
now she got the reasons to continue her life in uh, uh,
हाँ जी. Okay.
to continue her life in enjoyment.
ठीक है. Drik Bajaj, would you like to add something to this answer? Be brief.
Uh,
Okay.
the author the author says this when the woman returned her cat to her,
Hmm.
and she said this because
Hmm.
she had not gone anywhere, but she said this because at first when the house was burnt and she had to go to her new school, she felt very lonely
Hmm.
and felt that everything was going wrong in her life. She had
Hmm.
there was nothing left to live, there was nothing left to live for,
Hmm.
and so she wanted to just lay down and die. But when she found out but when she found that her classmates gave surprised her by giving her the school supplies and various types of clothes, etc., and also gives invited her to her homes.
You are again
And
elaborating too
when the
much, Drik.
woman
Don't elaborate too
tried hard
much.
to
Come
woman
to the
tried
main
hard
point.
to bring back her cat, she felt that she had the bad times were gone and now she had interest to live her life.
ओके. यस, यहाँ पर जिसने हैंड रेस किया था, जी महक बताइए.
The author had gone nowhere, but her life was becoming dull and boring. She was living a life of insecurity and losses.
Sukpal
When
ma'am.
her cat come back, she feel much
जस्ट अ
better.
मोमेंट मैम. हाँ जी.
She feel much better because
जी ma'am.
she start because when her cat comes back, her feeling of loss and tragedy seemed to diminish. Her house started rebuilding again, as well as she made new friends. So in a conclusion, all her problems started solving, and she was again back to her normal life.
ओके. ठीक है. बी वेरी ब्रीफ. यहां पर आपने जो लिखना है, आपने ये एक्सप्लेन करना है दैट माई कैट वॉज बैक एंड सो वॉज आई, मीन्स दैट वेन जैन गॉट हर कैट बैक, similarly her life was also back to her. She has got a new life because now she was not lonely, now she was not depressed. Previously, earlier, she was living in gloom, disappointed, but now she was surrounded by her friends. So, here it means that she had started taking interest in her life now. She was now enjoying. She was no longer lonely because earlier she wanted to curl up and die. But now she is full of positivity. Is it clear? So, यहाँ पर आपने क्या बताना है? फिर आप ये भी बताओगे, no, the author had not gone anywhere. So this sentence that my life was also back, it means that the way it implies that she has got a new life and the life was full of friends, their love and warmth, happiness and enjoyment. Is it clear? इतना घुमाओ मत, इतना elaborate मत करो. Stick to the point of the answer. These are just for 30-40 words. So you need to think first, what are the main value points of the answer? Read the question again and then try and answer. Avoid elaborating it. Yes, beta. Yes, you must write it in different paragraphs. Paragraph change hona zaruri hai to distinctly make it clear that you are answering all the parts of the question. It helps in scoring good marks. ठीक है बेटा? So this was all about today's discussion of question answers. So question number 1 to 6 you are going to do in your notebooks. Is it clear?